This is day 487 of the Arukh HaShulchab Yomi. If you would like to sponsor upcoming share more of the Arukh HaShulchab Yomi, please contact me directly. It'd be very greatly appreciated. Today we're doing Siman Shin Test, which we started yesterday. Sif Dalit to Siman Shin Test, Sif Yud Beis. Okay. Dalit. Evan Shebekiruya. The last Kalula, this is a hollow gourd. Shetolim bo Evan Lachbida, which you hang a stone in which to give it weight. The miles by my more to be able to submerge and fill with water. In Mukashi Yafashin and Nova, if it's tied on strongly, that it's not going to fall. Mutter lemalos, but you're allowed to use the gourd to fill up water. She'emin kama last hospital, the stone becomes like the gourd itself, one entity. Shebatul gabe, it's subordinate to it. But if it's not tied on well, also if you look at Shabbos, have been even doesn't perform before Shabbos. Because it doesn't become intrinsic, whatever, because it can fall. Hiduk. Gemara says to tighten. Came the hut because Shabi Yadov, and to tighten it became like a wall. Rashi explains that tightening is not by plugging but by time. You tighten it well. It sounds like it does not require time. That's specifically time. The Shibura says no, even tightening works, but it's not so prevalent that you can find tightening which is tight without time. The Arukh HaShulchab says, first look at Rashi. Rashi says not the way. Came when she putzola kigufa yain sham. Since it's upwards to it, what that means we'll see in a moment. Vafuti lashon hiduk v'lashon kshira. Putzo means it is tightly attached to it and not tied. He's a shamper kira. Tapsila afutza b'tochaner. It says also in Yerushalmi Shabbos that a wick is a futza. It's tight inside the candle. In other words, it's tightly pushed into the holder. Where it talks about a beehive, which is or some. It's not necessarily a beehive. It could be some sort of other type of similar type looking vessel. Kaveris is a very interesting and enigmatic subject. Which was burst open. Bakash was stuffed up with straw. Afutza, or it's afutza. Ezu afutza kosher ein lo tefach makama echad. Where there is no tefach, which is I guess left open from in any one place. Ein sham amal lashon dechikahi means something is shoved in there, I guess, to stop up the gap. The stone in a basket, which is the previous case, Sif Gimel, that is not tightened. Ayin Sham. You can rely on Yerushalmi, and obviously Mishnah holds the same thing, that you can rely if it's not so prevalent, but Haduk is enough. Hey, if you have a basket full of fruit, there's a stone inside. Stone is muktzah. Since the basket doesn't have a hole, in which this stone could then be considered to be part of its wall. So therefore the basket becomes the base of something which is usher or davar mutter, and which is mutter, which of course is the fruit. So Mishnah Berurah says the heter is more chashuv. Obviously, the fruit is more chashuv than the stone, so the stone is batel, and it's as if it's a basis only the heter, which is very chiddush l'kula. It's not basis davar also mutter, but it's a basis davar heter. I'm not sure what there's any actual practical nafka in that, however. Back to Arukh HaShulchab, in my parents who told him the moist fruits contained by novim such as figs and grapes. Not truly told echad actually told kulam. They didn't require you to remove them one by one and then shake the stone out of the basket because it's a very, very difficult process. The Mishnah adds that maybe Isaac and the mountain fall to the ground. That's allowed you to carry the basket as is with the stone. But if the dry food, which should not get ruined by falling on the ground, but when they pour them on the ground, you're not rain, we should pour them on the ground. Mishabura says, yeah, but be careful, they shouldn't scatter. If not, it's also to gather them and to put them back into the basket because it's ufta dechol, and could be it's also ma'amer, which is nisha d'oraisa. But according back to Arukh HaShulchab, so if you're shaking them out, you should shake them. You can shake them in agama and also stone with them. And then you gather everything back except for the stone. Chayav prepares the tombs also in moist food. But they're in small baskets within a larger basket. You remove them from inside the basket. Now Evan and shake out the stone. And then put them back. That's only if you only need the fruit or the basket. And but if you need the place where the basket is, obviously you don't want the stone there because that's not going to help you. So you can carry it as is. Vav, as we have written, game Basko Raman Berchafe, but Shulchan Sim Gimel. La Rashi Atosis Shama Gemara, Gamperos Lachin, Amatim Matata Kal Komoshi. Rashi does not allow you to carry the basket as is. El in Kain Haisal Kola, unless there was a hole in the basket and a stone was serving to fill up the hole. Abu Shlema, if the basket is whole, certainly tell pairs and shom Nara Emin. You have to take the fruit out and shake out the stone iron shom. Miwa Kapanim, Afalam Akim, never seen those who are lenient, low trail attack look Moshehi. You can't carry it as is, Elamokum Tircha Gdoila, unless it's a great tircha to remove it. Lamanim, we say, from this we learn. So here we have, again, there's very little practical nafkamina in this case, but we see from this that since you should shake out the stone, that is a basis l'davar heter mutar v'asur is not something where it's completely just carte blanche. You can carry it. No. Only if the compelling circumstances. Could be that dimension in Mishnah Bura and your Shulchan is. I'm not sure because he would also say the Shulchan Aruch that you should shake it out. So I'm not sure how, again, what the big difference is between the Shulchan Aruch and between Mishnah Bura and your Shulchan. Either Mishnah Bura says it's as if it's a busted only davar mutar. The final analysis, it says that you are supposed to try and check it out. Okay. It has a bracket here. You have to say in Shabbos Kevin Bei Rab Nachman Amatalkin Knuna Agav Kitma. When we're in the house of Rab Nachman, it was we would carry broken piece of wood together with ashes, which we needed. Even though those broken pieces of wood are davar aser. Zel b'makom ha'achrech dafka. It's where you're compelled to do so. Whereas the Ruach Gadol, subsim in Peivav, Mishar Patema, he's not clear exactly that's what it is. But according to Arukh HaShulchab, by busting davar aser by mutar, it has to have an element of shas al-chak in order to allow you to carry. Zayin, v'chein metalti in truma tmei ma'atoyrek v'shem b'kli echad. You can carry truma which is tamei, which is like a stone, with truma which is tor when they're in the same vessel. B'amed v'armei when it's chuk shoyis ator lemata, when the tor fruit is below. V'yu persa mistantin, and they would get dirty on the ground, you shook them out. Goes in mishkei chayitza b'hem. But if they were dry, such as nuts and almonds, norakli, you pour out the vessel, and you take that star and leave that your stomach. Only can't serve mokam kli unless again you need a mokam kli, which you can remove it, whole thing, lock, stock, and barrel. Again, if you get out chuma tmei out, it's better. Well, any motor stuff which is with us stuff, the same keli, best to try and the boss will spill it out and then only take back the Torah stuff. Ches, you forgot a stone on top of a barrel, or mosakar, or money on your pillow. Lo naseh bosses. It's not considered bosses because it was not deliberate. You can climb the the barrel inside, but having a fell, and the stone will fall. Not a car, you can shake the pillow, but most of the money falls. It's only doing for the purpose of only doing for the purpose of the pillow. Also, so came to Hamosh, well, we can't do it for the purpose of the money, in order that the money shall be stolen. So you can only do it for the pillow, not for the money. The tiltum outside, so also indirect carrying for the purpose of something which is usher is forbidden. Sharatzin says that he's not clear on this halacha. It's possible that if you're shaking off, you can even shake off for the purpose of the money, which would be a super cooler. Okay, back to Arukh HaShulchab Levad b'meis. The only time tiltum outside is mutter for something for davar users, but when there's a dead body, which lam shin yud aleph. If the barrels among other barrels, but in your chain, in a way that you can't incline it where it's standing, you can pick it up as is, even with the stone, to another place, and to incline it on its side over there. So the stone will fall on its own. It's also indirect carrying for the purpose of something which is mutter. Maybe Allah is not sure if you can carry it to whatever you want, or just before you shake the stone off, or you only as somewhere where it's not going to fall on the other barrels and break them. Okay, be that as it may. From the Arukh HaShulchab smash with that, you can take it to Welcome Acher, unspecified. Test, that's you forgot. But if you put the stone there deliberately, or the money on the pillow deliberately, they should show Shem the Shabbos. They should be there when Shabbos begins. Also, you're not allowed to incline and shake it off. The Nasa Chavis buses lemon also, because the barrel becomes a base for the Usher stone. And so to the pillow for the money. Why is it when you put it there, do not say the stone becomes the cover of the barrel, and it shouldn't be muktzah at all. We gave 3 reasons. Even if the stone fell on its own on Shabbos, you're still allowed to carry the barrel. Since it was muktzah Friday at twilight, it's muktzah the entire day. But we have Shabbos if that's the muktzah zu ain't a loch Rabbi Shimon, and this muktzah we don't look like Rabbi Shimon. The muktzah is mutter. This muktzah is aser. Ayin sham. So that's Rashi. When you have a muktzah shetial davar heter, when you put the muktzah thing, which is a mutter bein hashmashos during twilight, nasa basis it becomes a base for the prohibited substance. Aval das Rabbeinu tam lo nasa basis al meniach al das muktzah yetir sham kol Shabbos. It's a big kula. And so it becomes the basis of also if your intent is to leave it there for all of Shabbos. But if left there only that should be muktzah during the twilight, that the muktzah should be there but only during twilight, then the Shabbos, only as Shabbos begins. But low lukuliyom and after the entire day, low not say supposed to the muktzah doesn't become a base for the muktzah. But Shabbos you'd be allowed even to live there deliberately, but not for all of Shabbos, to incline it and shake off the stone. Since muktzah is the Rabbanan, you can lie in this opinion in a place where there could be a loss. And it's clear that if you left it there on Erev Shabbos with the intent to take it off before Shabbos begins, and you forgot then to take it off, that's called that you forgot, like the previous sieve, and then you'll be allowed to move it and dump it. The Bialacha says, nevertheless, according to Rabbeinu Tam, that it has to be muktzah, it has to have an intent that's even there for all the entire Shabbos. It's still not like completely like innocent forgetting, because where a place where you need the place of the barrel or the pillow, then you can pick it up with the davar muktzah if all together. Now that's if you actually shochech it. But here we only had in mind there should be part of Shabbos. Even according to Rabbeinu Tam, it's not mutter all move it around at will, but you have to shake it off as soon as possible. The Shibur also says in the Beis Yosef that even if you put it there stam and Erev Shabbos, as long as you have in mind specifically that you made there, the opening of when Shabbos begins, that's also considered to be forgetting. And if you do this on a weekday, in other words, you had I'm not sure what, of course we did this Erev Shabbos, whatever it's called, Shachach. Okay, Yud v'yesh b'zeh she'eluk though. It's a big question here. Lama asim meniach emen al pi hachavos. Why is it when you put the stone on the barrel? Hachavos yesh b'yayin. The barrel is water. Kosh b'yash Rashi b'Rav. Okay, have a chavis. The bus is davar heter iser. The heter is the wine inside. The iser is the stone outside. So there's always the buses for both. V'yesh, that's evidently Eliyahu's questions. V'yesh mishnah to those whose answer the minesha em munacha piachovis, since the stone is on the opening of the barrel. Piashar like yain below the yam can't reach the one without removing the stone. Gamachavis gamiyain now seem basis leaven. So therefore both the jug and the wine become a basis for the stone. But he says here, and everything, it's the place of Shabbos who says this. But he says, "I have a lamalos who's when the Paiskim mention this, which seems to be necessary for the understanding of the halacha." The halacha writes that it's because when the opening of the chavis is because the halacha does not look at the barrel as one entity. I'm sorry. Arukh HaShulchab looks at the barrel as one entity. So therefore he's asking why the barrel is not a base for davar mutter, the wine, and the davar asur, which is the stone on top of it. When the Mishnah looks at two entities, Mishnah says the jug is one entity, that holds the wine. But the cover is another entity, and that cover only holds the stone. So there are two buses here. One is only a bus of davar heter, and the other is only a bus of davar iser. But going out to Arukh HaShulchab, Yirav, Vochel is another question. How does it work according to Rashi? He left it to be there during twilight. Nasa basis becomes a basis. Now allowed to move it after the muktzah is removed. So when you put candles on a tablecloth, you currently use the Shabbos, they're there for the opening of Shabbos. How can you take that cloth tomorrow, and even if the candles themselves were moved by a non-Jew, Nasi's already became a base for the candles. It says the Taz, this question remains with the Tzarech here. Yesh Mishom, those that say Tam had said the reason for the leniency is in a b'derech akrai mutar k'moshes bar. It's an occasional thing, it's okay. And he says we're going to explain this Sifri Gimel, which is for tomorrow. The candles on the tablecloth are just not considered to be permanently there. They're just like temporarily there, or just like by accident there, so to speak. Because you don't want to leave them on the cloth. You want to really leave them on the table. But you can't leave a place on the table without the cloth. So the mappa does not become buses. So keep chap that the buses is the table. The tablecloth is something which you put on so the table should be covered, but it's really the table which is the buses. So therefore you're allowed to move the tablecloth with the candles. That's a keep chap. That's evidently the Baal Tanya says this, but the Arukh HaShulchab does not like that. The Adrab, the contrary, since he only put them on the cloth, you can't consider it to be a chance occurrence. I think that says the better reason is that the table becomes a base for the mappa, the cloth, and the neros. We have a bus in davar asur, davar mutar. So it's a buses for davar asur, davar mutar at the same time. And you can carry exchange circles, and when this is a necessity. Much as well, we said earlier this evening. And today, what we do is we put the lechem mishnah on the tray with the candles, or in this case, about the tablecloth. So the mappa does not become a base for the candles alone. As far as his conversation, Reish Ayin Zayin, Sif Yud, Ayin Sham. Pretty much kusa by chavis, but that based on which said by a jug. L'chein ein a bus is gam la yayin. That's not going to be also based for the wine. They shiv shagil yayin below till 7 because you can't get to wine without removing the stone. And kulam b'season 11. That's where everything, both the wine and the barrel, are buses for the stone. You can't take the cloth without the candles. Can't kulam b'season laneros. So there's all be buses to their candles, the table and the cloth. You base the zaiti, the Indian kenu. This is the way to understand it. Barim achas hunchu. If at the simultaneously, this and had to place this someplace. Buses of Davra Mutter. This place comes down buses for Davra and Davra Mutter. Name Sholtim Allah Bizman Echad. They both have control over the place at the same time. But that was there previously. But some Ben Hashmash's Bala Isa, and then right before Ben Hashmash's he put the Issa there. This is very big. Arukh HaShulchab is saying, so then at the time Shabbos begins, at that point it becomes the Yuchel Davar Isser. Look, if not, because that's not the case, even by the primary concept of Basar Davar Asr. Why would you would say the Heter becomes a base for the Isser? Name level, that's the opposite. The Isser Nasa Basar Laheter. That this becomes the base for the Heter. The primary Chashivas is determined whatever is put there immediately before Shabbos begins. And that works well with our custom of the tablecloth. Came in the summer of since you put the cloth and the candles on the table immediately before Ben Hashmashos, have a shulchan basis davar asa davar mutar. The table is now a base for a davar asa and davar mutar because I put in a mappa, and so to the mappa. In other words, you're putting the lechem mishnah and the candles there at the same time. So that's why it became a basis for both. Avayam shechavis, but the wine, no. The wine was already there in the jug. Then both of some of the Ben Hashmashos, and the stone comes adjacent to Ben Hashmashos. Nasu klum b'sisim le'evan. Both the barrel and the wine become the basis for the stone. On the brackets of the bush, Masha and Farsh B'chavis Reikonis, Ein Shon Dvorim Zuim. Sounds the bush, we're always talking the whole time about an empty barrel, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Sharatim writes another reason. The mappa, the table is only made to cover the table. That's why it's a bus, not a buses. The nair is the candles primarily to illuminate and not to be put on the table. Okay, so that's why. Neither, according to this perspective, neither the table nor the tablecloth become a basis l'davar or aser. Okay, we're going to see tomorrow other parameters of this as well.